Being in Hollywood, you definitely compare yourself a lot more to other people. But it wasn't until I moved to Hollywood where you just kind of notice everyone is pretty and ripped and fit, and it makes you be like, I want to look like that.
I feel so much pressure to work out and eat healthy in LA, but not even just do those activities. It's spend a lot of money on those activities.
It's also definitely a little bit exclusive too, just because like, you know, a SoulCycle class is like $30, and like as a college student, like that's just not really like attainable.
You're paying so much more to live this healthy lifestyle, or at least this kind of healthy theater lifestyle of you don't know, like, is it true, is it fake, is it working, is it not?
It's like a little bit culty in the sense that the people who are like ride or die SoulCycle, like that's part of their identity, or you know, same for like Box Union or something.
I definitely was not doing that many health-centered activities when I was living in Idaho.
I feel a little bit like guilty for not partaking because that is such a big part of like LA culture.
Look at anybody who's pretty popular now. I mean, they're like at least somewhat attractive.
I wouldn't say that I feel pressure to dress a particular way. I think like, especially here, everyone has so many different forms of style, but I definitely feel a little bit more pressure just to like, you know, put on a good face whenever I do go out.
You look around and you see everybody just looks good. So, duh, you want to look good. You want to look. I want to be her that looks like pretty, just walking, minding her business. I want to look like that.
I always want to make sure my outfit looks good and I look presentable, because I mean, you never know who you're going to run into here. Like, I have been in the most chill situations and have been sitting next to Kylie Jenner.
You don't want to walk outside looking raggedy. Somebody's going to make fun of you. Even if you don't hear it, they're making fun of you.
I think people here love stuff like that. I think it's a hobby for a lot of people in LA to have expensive things and designer things. And I was definitely in a mindset where I wanted a lot of that stuff. But I think I'm kind of moving past that hump, and I'm not really thinking about that as much as I used to think about that. But I still like to indulge in nice things, and I still like things that are nicer or feel like a treat when I buy it for myself.
I mean, my immediate thought is no, but I think subconsciously and like indirectly yes, just because I've become more choosy, I guess, with the brands that I want to buy, and I definitely buy into like certain trends and brands, or you know, whatever is popular at the time.
I do think that a lot of people here buy things and wear things just because other people know how expensive it is. It's definitely a status symbol, but I also think a lot of people don't follow that mindset, but the pressure gets to people for sure, and it got to me for a while, I think.
I'm not the biggest fan of influencers. I'm just not the biggest like social media user in general, so I think that's probably why. But it's just, I mean, from a marketing standpoint, I think it's great. I think it's really effective, but for me it's just overwhelming when, you know, the only things I'm seeing is like paid ads and for products that they probably don't really use in real life, or you know, just the constant need to like take photos before you can eat your dinner, or you know, stuff like that. Like, I just try not to partake in, but
I do think it's unhealthy because I think a lot of people can't differentiate between the highlight reel that is in influencers' Instagram and the real life and the real struggles and the real situations. But not to toot my own horn, but I think I do a really good job at knowing what's real and what's not, and what is the best part of someone's week, because I can tell you that a 10-second Instagram story is not the 24 hours in a person's day.
because in order to be an influencer, like, you know, a brand has to buy into that person, and that person has to be, you know, have a certain image and maintain like a certain aesthetic, I guess. And I think even just that in itself is like pressure to like look and act a certain way.
I think that that's inevitable. Celebrity culture in general always makes people feel like that, but definitely with platforms like YouTube and TikTok that make it more accessible to young people.
A lot of people get really caught up thinking, oh my gosh, this person looks so good in this photo that they posted, but that they're posting the photo because it's the best photo of them, obviously, as we all do with our own feeds. I do think a lot of people get tripped up thinking that a person's Instagram is their entire life and their entire mindset of being happy.
Yeah, and I don't like it.
It's weird because I'm insecure about things that I wouldn't have, or I don't think I would have been insecure about before, but also I'm definitely more confident, so it's kind of like toggling between the two. But I mean, I think I've just like embraced like, you know, my style, who I am, and like gotten more comfortable in my own skin, but at the same time, there are like, you know, things that I like think about. I'm like, oh, I wish I could change that. But again, they're trends and they come and go, so that's just kind of the mindset that I have to tell myself.
I think you get caught up in like a lot of things that necessarily aren't important to you that become important to you. And I guess when you like sit back and like assess that, like it kind of sucks. Because I don't think that that's me, but it definitely becomes you. Like, you're immersed in that environment. You want to be like those people, so yeah. LA is the toxic environment, absolutely.
Definitely, I think there's a lot of like clout chasers and stuff like that. So I think it's all about who you surround yourself with, and then also like your mentality around it. Like if you're, you know, actively pursuing like this influencer lifestyle, like you're gonna eventually like fall short of, I don't know, like a sense of belonging, I guess. I don't know. And I think there are good people in LA, but there are also bad people in LA. So I think it's all about finding your crowd.
I think it is toxic for a lot of people, but I feel at home.
I think LA life will destroy you if you let it.
I think people need to be aware of the fact that LA is just an area where so many different people all come together, and there's people from so many different backgrounds that have experienced so many different things, and that makes LA exciting. But I think some people, it can be really shocking and really scary and confusing. So I think it's important to keep that in mind, that you want to be aware of the fact that so many people come from so many different walks of life, and you have to come with an open mind.
Definitely don't count on your luck. 1 in a million chance, and I promise you are not 1 in a million if you don't work for it.
Don't buy into the whole like fame chasing, clout chasing, influencer mindset. I think living for yourself is ultimately the way to do it. LA is a great place and there's so much to do, and you know, not everyone has to be famous. We don't all have to take photos everywhere we go. Yeah, I think just being yourself and staying true to who you are is